Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another daily show from Crypto Warehouse. It's the 24th of January. It's 11 o'clock, as always, and we are back to go through the news today. So, first of all, if you are new here, welcome to Crypto Warehouse. I am Mike. We have two shows today. We have the show at 11 o'clock, and we have one tonight at 7 o'clock, which is our meme coin giveaway. All the information about that is in the calendar of events. So make sure to go and check that out after the show. Secondly, feel free to interact, ask questions in the chat, ask me anything you want, disagree with me, agree with me, I don't care. Just interact. This is a two-way conversation. This is not a recorded video. We are live. So what are we going to go through today? Well, we've had somewhat of a relief rally. We are going to go through the markets. We're going to look at some X files. We're going to look at a prediction of $60,000 Bitcoin. We're going to look at some ETH Solana news. They've taken the hit a lot more than other coins have. We're going to take a look at 3 picks from a crypto influencer in speech marks. We're going to see what they have recommended. We're going to take a look at Luna's Chapter 11, and then we're going to finish with a bit of news, and then we're going to finish with the quiz. That is the show for today. Now, very quickly, I need to give me 1 second. I need to change the date, which is showing as the 23rd, and it is clearly not the 23rd. It is clearly the 24th. There we go. There we go. We're back up to date now. Hold on. Okay, so let's get on with the news and let's have a look at the markets. Bitcoin has recovered just a little bit. We are back under $40,000. We're having a bit of a fight at $40,000. And I was having a conversation with Brogan last night about this. It's all well and good getting above $40,000, but we have to hold it. We're not going to do the Bitcoin chart today. We've done it every day for the rest, most of the week. We're not going to do that. We are going to look at Solana and we'll look at a few other coins. So very briefly, Bitcoin needs to get above 40 and hold 40,000. Now, this is all well and good having $40,000 now, but we need to see what happens when the markets open in America, which is in about 4.5-5 hours time from now. We need to see what happens with ETFs. Remember what I've been saying, we have seen more money coming into the ETFs than being sold from Grayscale. So although Grayscale is selling off and transferring assets to BlackRock and Fidelity, that does not count for all of the sell-off. So there is a cycle involved where we do tend to drop before the halving. We normally drop anywhere up to 30%. We did come down, I think, 22% so far from the all-time high to the low. Maybe that was the dip. Maybe that was the end of it. I didn't think that was going to happen this year because the ETFs were going live. We were going to be seen through that dip and we were going to push on towards $50,000. But we've seen the dip. If we finish today at 41,000 or 40,600, I would take that in a heartbeat. So that's where we are with Bitcoin. As you can see, we've had a few kicks in the teeth further down the line in terms of Ethereum, and BNB's not had a good time. Solana's having a bit of a recovery, but remember, I said anything under $90, anything under $80 for Solana is an absolute steal. Let's have a look at what's recovered in the last 24 hours. Sui is having a good year. Stacks is up, Say is up, Manta is up, Blur is up, Celestia is up. All really good positive moves. Remember, Celestia is one of those coins that's in a range and it's going between about $15 and $19 at the minute. It's a good coin to trade. So have a look at that one. Avalanche is picking back up, but it's still down for the year. Beam is up, but it's still down for the year. So we've had a bit of a recovery, which is nice to see. In terms of losers, not too many losers today. Not too many losers. Audi's down a touch. Carver BNB, nobody's really moved down an awful lot in the last 24 hours. All in all, pretty good. Market cap is still down, but it's going to start to recover. We have the volume is meh, and Bitcoin dominance has shot back over 50%. Remember, Bitcoin dominance, some people say 60%, some people say 55%. It will top out of in this bull run. Who knows? Who knows where we're going to end up? We don't know, but I do think we are going to move up towards 53, 54. When Bitcoin rips, it will leave everything else in its wake for a time, and that's where we might top out 54, 55. So bear that in mind as well. And for those of you that don't understand what that is, Bitcoin dominance is the percentage of the overall crypto market held in Bitcoin. So if the total crypto market is 1.6 trillion, Bitcoin is 800 billion of that. It is half of the total market cap. That's all that means. Now we're going to get on and we're going to look at some X-Files. I like this part of the show because they're not really conversation pieces. They're just snippets of information which I think are useful. One of the ones coming out from Trueflation, as you might know if you've watched me before, I'm a big fan of Trueflation. It gives you unbiased inflation prices. It's a free service. You can go and check out their website. It's not sponsored. They show you the inflation rates for the UK and America, and it shows you broken down by meat, transportation, housing, the works. It's a brilliant website. Now, this is the headline. This is 2%. 2% inflation target has been reached. Not only did we break 1.9%, we broke down to 1.82%. Now, this is important. Inflation cannot fall to 0 or below 0 because then the economy starts to contract. So they have to keep inflation above 1% and below 2%. This means that all of the interest rate hikes that we've seen in 2023 will start to be reversed. People are saying March, people are saying April. I'm now starting to believe it's going to start in March. Remember, there is a huge lag between inflation spiking, followed by interest rates being pushed up, followed by inflation coming down. There is a huge lag between each of those things. Mainly, in some people's opinions, it can take 6 months. So they need to start cutting interest rates as soon as possible to get the inflation to start to kick back in. They don't want negative inflation, especially in an election year. So that is positive news, and expect the UK to follow suit. The UK inflation was running at about 18%. That's down to about 3 or 4%. The target is 2. We are a few months behind America, so expect our interest rates to start coming down maybe by the summer, maybe by Q3. They are never going to tell you that. They're never going to signpost it. They're going to say, don't expect interest rates this year. Don't expect a drop in interest rates. But again, it's the election year, so it will happen. Secondly, the SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce believes that spot Ethereum ETFs won't need a court battle to get an approval. I disagree with it. I'm actually on the side of Gary Gensler on this. You can't just start approving ETFs willy-nilly. Bitcoin is a commodity in my eyes. It is mined. It is decentralized. It has no central body. It deserves to be an ETF, like gold, like silver, like oil, like corn, whatever. Now, Ethereum is proof of stake. I would say it's more of a security than a commodity. It's still not a security, but it is more of a security than Bitcoin. So I think there's a few more grey areas about Ethereum. If the Ethereum Foundation decided to do a 360 or a 180, and change everything about Ethereum, that would cause a huge knock-on to any ETF that trades those tokens. So for me, I think we're either going to see an approval in the summer and they're going to say, you know what, take it away, or it's not going to happen this year. I don't think it's going to be drawn out. I think she's correct in that instance. It's not going to go through a court. But we're either going to get it this year or we're not going to get it this year. And Gary Gensler is going to say, you know what, the election is in November. I'm out of here in February anyway. I'm going to delay it. I don't care. Move on. Now, I don't know whether we're going to see an Ethereum ETF. If we don't, I expect if I see a delay and bearish news from Gary Gensler, I expect the price of Ethereum to come down, because a lot of this price pump we've seen in Ethereum is based on hopium and speculation. Now, this is quite a cool chart. This shows you the stablecoin volume by day starting last year. I mean, it goes on for a long time. But as you can see, the volume is massive. We're talking hundreds of millions. We're talking billions. We are talking massive numbers. Why do I say that? If you look at the total stablecoin market, it's $130 billion. It settles 7 trillion of volume. Visa settled 12 trillion of volume. So think about that. Visa is the biggest credit card company in the world. It's settling $12 trillion. Stablecoins, $7 trillion, just over half of the volume of Visa. We said yesterday, crypto only has 580 million people in it, roughly. What happens when we 5x that? What happens when we get the majority of the world onto using crypto? We are going to see a 10x in the volume of stablecoins compared to Visa. That's why Visa are trying so hard to become the on and off ramps for all the major chains. You know, Solana, Ethereum, all have deals with Visa. And that is why, because they know that in 5 years' time, the majority of transactions are going to be across the blockchain. Visa already has a system in place for wages, where wages can be paid via stablecoins in America. PayPal is trying to get in on the act. Remember, PayPal has its PYUSD, which is its own stablecoin. That is trying to get in on the action because that wants to be part of this new blockchain revolution. And remember, this doesn't mean this money is being used to buy and sell crypto. This is going to be used for everyday goods, everyday groceries, things like that. So a few little snippets there of news that aren't really worthy of a massive discussion. We are going to crack on, and we're going to go and have a look at this price forecast for 2024. So this is just this year. I mean, it's difficult. I understand that people are very bearish at this moment in time. People expected $50,000. I expected $50,000. I actually expected $52,400. That was my shorter term target for Bitcoin. We didn't see it. Things outside of our knowledge happened, which caused this price correction. It's not going to last forever. We're at the beginning of the bull run. We are at 2 months before the halving. We are, there are loads of things which are about to happen, which are going to push the price up, irrespective of this short-term pain. We spoke about it yesterday. You need to experience pain if you're in crypto. You need to know how to handle the pain. And yes, it's a real kick in the teeth. And yes, it's not fun. You just have to motor through it. You've run a marathon. You're into your final 500 meters. Don't sit down now. Don't stop. Don't give in to BlackRock and Vanguard and the other big nine. Don't hand over your crypto now. That's what they want you to do. You're tired. You've had the most brutal bear market we've ever had. It's the longest. It's crippled people. Just hang on another 2 years and you will see, hopefully, most of your coins pump probably past most of your expectations. So a confluence of macro environmental factors is influencing Bitcoin's trajectory. Monetary policy, particularly in the US, plays a critical role. Rising interest rates have shifted focus to alternative stores of value like US treasuries. The weakening appeal of the dollar, we know about this. Debt, we know about this. Inflation has come down rapidly. We expect interest rates to come down. Now here we go. In terms of regulatory outlook, 2024 looks promising. The US Securities and Exchange Commission's SEC approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF sets a positive tone. Coin shares, here we go. While predicting the exact scale of post-launch investment inflow is challenging, a conservative estimate suggests that 10% of the current AUM, which is approximately $3 billion, could raise Bitcoin's prices to around $60,000. And remember, we've mentioned this in the past. To put the price of Bitcoin up 50%, you don't need to put in 400 billion, which is half of its market cap. It doesn't work that way. You need to put in that there are equations where for every $1,000 of Bitcoin bought, it puts the price up by $1. For every $1,000 of Bitcoin sold, it drops the price by $2. There are equations to work it out. And as this person quite rightly points out, if we're looking at 3 billion moving the price of Bitcoin from 40 to 60,000, 3 billion is not even 0.5% of the total market cap of Bitcoin, because remember, what is traded is the available Bitcoin, and the available Bitcoin is not 19.6 million. It's only 1.6, 1.7 million that are on exchanges. So to move the price of Bitcoin requires very little in terms of capital. So 3 billion coming in, according to CoinShares, could bring us to $60,000. Now, just to put that into context, the net income so far from these ETFs has been just under 1 billion in 8 days. Now, you extrapolate that over the next 40 days, you've got another $4 billion to come into Bitcoin in the next 32 days. She's saying that 3 billion could rise it to 60,000. We'll take the word could out because she doesn't want to use precision here. 4 more billion is coming in. We need 3 billion to move it to $60,000. You do the math. It's going to happen. So this shows you the various different price predictions. So at 6 billion coming in, we would be at 81,000. 12.5 billion would put us up to 127,000. So just bear that in mind. We are at the start of the last great bull run. I am going to call it the last great bull run because percentage-wise, we're never going to see a 6x in one cycle again on Bitcoin. So if we do manage to get to 250,000 in this bull run, which is a 6x from now, and we do, let's say, get to 250,000, are we really going to do a 6x from 250,000 to 1.5 million in the next bull run? I don't think so. So in terms of what you're going to gain, if you put $1,000 in today, you may have $6,000 in 2 years' time. Whereas in the next bull run, if you put $1,000 in, you might only come out with $2,500. That's what I mean about the bull run. It's not the value it goes up by, it's the percentage it goes up by. That's the key here. So if you buy a coin at $1 today and you sell it for $10, you've 10x'd your money. But if that coin value, if the market cap of that coin's value goes up astronomically, you're not going to keep seeing a 10x in your returns or a 5x in your returns. It's diminishing returns. And that's why I think this could be the last great bull cycle in terms of, you making life-changing gains. Maybe we switch to another coin. Maybe there's another coin on the horizon that comes out, an AI coin, for example, starts off with a market cap of 200 million, 300 million, and suddenly goes to a 50 billion market cap. That's how you make your money. But in terms of Bitcoin, I think this is the last great cycle. Now we're going to move on. As I said, we're not going to cover Bitcoin today because I don't want to run out of time. Ethereum and Solana losses pile up as Bitcoin sell-off sinks the crypto market. So Bitcoin, as we know, is down, but 3 coins took an absolute pummeling: Ethereum, Solana, and Avalanche. Avalanche I like. I bought Avalanche a long time ago. Don't know what I paid for it, but it wasn't a lot. I've had Solana for 4 or 5 years. I've had Solana since it was $100, $150. I bought Solana when it was at $20 and $25. I've had Solana the entire previous bull run and this bear market. Big fan. I've had Ethereum since 2018, 19, don't know when it was. I mined it. So I'm a big fan of Ethereum and Solana in particular. They have been trashed in this dip. They've come down an awfully long way. Ethereum is down in a day 7%. I think it could come down a lot more if the news about the ETFs comes out and is negative. We might touch 2,000, but again, it's a very choppy market. It's a very noisy market at the minute, so it's very hard to say where we're going. Solana took an absolute pummeling. Remember, it was at 100 and was it 110, 115 dollars? We'll have a look at the chart in a minute. Down to $80, $82. Good price to buy. AVAX again took an absolute hit. So the bigger coins, the bigger layer ones, have taken the brunt of this attack or the dip, and the losses of Bitcoin. If you think about it, the Bitcoin is down. Well, it's probably not down 20%. Now, it's probably down 20% now from its all-time high a few weeks ago. Solana is down 33%. Ethereum is down, will be down 20% as well. So there's more, in my opinion, there's more upside to some of these alts than Bitcoin. So if for example, Solana goes from $80 to $120, we're going to see a 50% gain. I don't think we're quite going to see a $40,000 to $60,000 Bitcoin that quickly. Now, again, one thing to bear in mind about these charts that I draw is I don't draw them before the show. I draw them the last time or the time before or the time before. That way, when you come and watch these charts that we've got, you can see very clearly that, you know, whether I'm right or wrong, basically. You know, have I got it completely wrong? Did we break out of the channel? Did we not break out of the channel? Now, we covered Solana probably only about 3 or 4 days ago. And, you know, we got to this peak. We retested it. We've been doing this. So what do we think we're going to do now? Are we going to do that again? Possibly. The RSI is coming up. The price looks like it's coming up. Could we see a retest of this fib level, which is currently at, what's that? $97. So potentially we could come up and retouch this fib level. Let's go to the daily, in fact, might be a bit clearer. There we go. So we've come down. We are, where is the bull market support band for? There we go. So the bull market support band, or moving average, should I say, is currently sitting at about $65. So for me, worst case scenario is we come down to $65. I do think we may have seen the bottom, or a recent bottom. That doesn't mean we can't go lower. This could be a relief rally. And if it's a relief rally, we could see this kind of action. And a further dip, maybe down to this level here where we have seen, so maybe down to here, which is about $75. So potentially we go to $75. If we are in a relief rally, it won't last too long. And again, we could very briefly come back up, touch this, and then move up again. So price to buy for me would be anywhere near $80. So this area here for me is the buy zone for me. I think anywhere in that range is good. We've got previous resistance. Hopefully that becomes support there. The bull market support band is starting to move up. It's at $65. So I'm positive. I'm not going to turn bearish on Bitcoin or any of these alts until we break the moving average. If we break this and stay below it, as we've covered before, let me just try and give you an example. So when you break below you can't get back above, and that's why you become bearish. You become bearish for a period of time. So we broke below in May 2022. We didn't break above it until January 2023. That's 7 months. That's a long time. And even then, we rattled around and we broke down. We broke up, we couldn't hold it, we broke down. So this band, which is the moving average price, this band, we above it, bullish, below it, bearish. Now, what we could see, as I've just drawn before, is we could see a retest of it before we move to higher prices. So for me, $65 to $80 is a great price to buy Solana at. I think if we dip below $80, I'm going to start buying back into Solana, because I do think we could be looking at a $400 to $500 Solana in the next bull run. That does put it at 150 to 200 billion market cap. It's not excessive for potentially the third top layer one behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. So for me, Solana, it's kind of come out of the bear market. It's lost its FTX dogma. I think we could see a higher price than what we have had. And the previous all-time high, by the way, was about $250. So I do think we'll break that in this bull run. Now then, let's have a quick look at the top altcoins to buy in this slump. Now, yesterday we looked at 3 altcoins. We looked at Solana, Arbitrum, and XRP. Which of those 3 coins would I buy right now? My answer to that question in order is I would buy Solana first, I would buy XRP second, and I would buy Arbitrum third. Not because of the mechanics of the projects, simply because Solana has got the hype behind it. XRP could win the court case against the SEC any day now. Arbitrum is a fairly new coin. It would have to go into price discovery. And for me, the safest bet is Solana. The second safest bet is XRP. Now, we're going to have a look at what this gentleman says. Michael van der Pop, he's been on the news, in the news for some time. I'm going to go and have a little look at what he has to say in a second. But first of all, I am going to drop a box. So if you are watching on a exchange, I'm going to drop a crypto box for you now. All we ask you to do is like and subscribe to the channel, help us grow the channel. The target for February is to get to 100,000 followers across the board. And as of a few days ago, we were at 88,500 followers. So we're not far off. We could hit it. We could potentially hit it by the end of January, which would be incredible. But I think if we can hit it by February, that would be amazing. And then all we need to do is save up for some kind of giveaway. So just let me drop this. And then I will be back. There we go. So the box should be appearing any time now. So it's 11:28 and we have got through 3 of the 6 articles. So we're a little bit behind on time. So what we probably do is drop one of the articles. I might drop the article about TFL and just do the chart action on Luna. So the next chart I am going to do is Luna. I know most of you don't really know a lot about Luna or don't really mention Luna to me, don't look at it, but I am going to mention it because the Cosmos ecosystem is really now starting to look sexy. I have been checking out a project called Prism, which is on the Cosmos blockchain, so it's across multiple chains, one of which is Luna, and it's starting to look sexy. It's giving me Solana vibes. That's how sexy it's looking. So we're going to get onto that in a bit. So Viva de Pop's analysis provides a strategic viewpoint to potential investors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly go through this and say whether I agree or not on his choices, because my opinion on them is just as good as his opinion on them, and it's always good for you to have multiple opinions on things as well. One thing I always say on here is don't just listen to one person, take their advice and follow them blindly. That's not how it should work. You should do your own research, which means you should watch people talk about coins, and don't go and look for videos that say the reasons to buy this coin or the best reasons to buy this coin or why buy this coin. Look at videos that give you the pros and the cons of each coin. It's all well and good me sitting here saying go and buy SEI and go and buy SUI. They're amazing coins. They're the best coins in the world, because you're only hearing one side of the story. The other side of the story is SEI's brand new. It's going to be dropping airdrops left, right and centre. We don't know if it's going to work. SUI hasn't really been adopted yet. And yes, it's got a good team behind it, but there's no real activity as yet there. Things are being built on there, but it's not live. So it has potential. Potential does not equal results. Ethereum, Bitcoin generate millions of dollars in revenue. SUI and SEI are prospective projects. So you need to look at both sides. By the way, I like both projects. I'm just saying, you need to look at both sides. So he has highlighted the coins that he prefers, the top 3 altcoins to buy now. Non-financial advice, of course. Okay, so what coins is he telling you to buy? ETH. He's telling you to buy ETH. Now, I said a minute ago it could drop. And he's telling you to buy it. I think Ethereum in the bull run is going to hit $10,000. It might go higher. I don't care. It's a 5x from where it is today. So Ethereum for me is going to hit $10,000. I think a 5x for the top 2, for the second coin in crypto, I think it's a no-brainer. I agree with him. But I don't agree with him that you should buy it all today. I agree you should maybe dollar cost average into Ethereum, because if this ETF gets rejected, if Gary Gensler puts up a fight, if the SEC take Ethereum to court or take BlackRock to court, whoever it is, it's going to drive the price down. So if we get that kind of reaction, expect a $2,000 or a $1,900 Ethereum. So dollar cost average in. If it gets approved tomorrow, it doesn't really matter what I'm saying now, because the price could potentially go up towards $2,500 to $3,000. So what I'm saying is, hedge your bets, dollar cost average in, maybe buy Ethereum every Friday from now until the halving. That would be my strategy for Ethereum. His second choice is Chainlink. Absolutely 100% agree with this pick. Chainlink is not sexy. Chainlink, when crypto is adopted, when crypto is on every single TV commercial, when it's in every magazine, every publication, nobody's going to mention Chainlink because it's not sexy. It's what goes on behind the scenes. When you use the internet, you don't really ever hear the word Cisco. Cisco powers, or it used to power, about 97% of the internet. You're never going to hear about that. You're only going to hear about your telephone company. You're going to hear about, Google and Amazon Web Services. You're never going to hear about the people in the background. Chainlink isn't a sexy project, but it's going to work, and it's going to work really well for businesses, especially fulfillment companies, especially companies. They're talking to Vodafone at the minute. They're talking to lots of companies, and I know the feedback is they're talking, there's no action, but you can't just go into a company and integrate blockchain technology. You have to do feasibility studies. They take forever. Chainlink for me. Can I see a $100 link? Absolutely. And we're at $15, $16 now, so that's a 7x. So in my feedback on this, 5x on Ethereum, dollar cost average in, 7x on Link. I would look to be buying Link on a weekly basis as well, because I think Link is going to do exceptionally well. Arbitrum, probably the lowest of the three. Anywhere between 167 and 150 is where you'd get yourself an entry point. If there's going to be another impulse taking place, it's going to be to $3.50 or $5. I think that's a bit of a pump for Arbitrum in the short term. I would say in the longer term, absolutely. So I think overall, my opinion is I agree with 2 of the 3 picks. I agree that Ethereum, you should be buying at this price and dollar cost averaging in on the off chance that the ETF is delayed. Ethereum isn't going to go anywhere. Of these 3 coins, if you to say to me which of these 3 coins are going to exist in 5 years' time, Chainlink will be here, Ethereum will be here. Absolutely nailed on certainties will both be here. Arbitrum is probably going to be here, but it's being a newer coin and a newer project, I don't have as much faith as I do in Chainlink and Ethereum. So I kind of would say dabble a little bit in Arbitrum, but of the 3, if I had to invest $100 today, I would put $45 in Ethereum, $45 in Chainlink, and $10 into Arbitrum. So I would put 10% of my pot into Arbitrum, and that's not because of the tech, it's not because of the potential, it's just because I don't think it's proven itself. There are coins in the last bull run that nobody's heard of in this bull run. There's potential for coins in the next bull run and here today that won't be here in 4 years' time. Chainlink will be in the next bull run. Ethereum will be in the next bull run. I cannot say for certain that Arbitrum will. Remember, Arbitrum is up against Matic and Optimism as layer 2s. So let's move on to Terraform. We'll go over this very quickly, and the reason I'm going to go over this very quickly is I don't run out of time. It's 11:36, and I do want to get to the pasta. So Terraform Labs files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Again, for those of you that might not know an awful lot about bankruptcy, Chapter 11, things like that, it's very simple. It protects them from the creditors from going in, sending the bailiffs in, and whatever it might be, stripping them of assets. It protects them while an insolvency firm goes in and assesses the value of the company. You can look at FTX had, not FTX, sorry, Celsius had Chapter 11, that's probably the biggest one of the ones that have collapsed. I don't really, it's not massively bad news. It's just the done thing. So, just look at the numbers. So they owe 100 to 500 million, and they own 100 to 500 million in assets. So it's getting to the point now where it's kind of pay off all the creditors and you're left with zero. Do Kwon is the holder of most of these shares. Do Kwon, I think, is still in Montenegro, and I think he's fighting extradition charges to America. I don't know much about that. So as far as I'm concerned, this step protects our ability to continue working with the community on infrastructure, innovative tools and products, and other ecosystem support. Now, of course, this has kicked the price of the token in the teeth. Now, another thing to bear in mind is Do Kwon is no longer the CEO of Luna. Luna has passed on to new hands, and in my opinion, being part of the Cosmos ecosystem, I think it's wholly undervalued and very similar. I've brought the wrong Luna for the 4th time. I did this 3 times off air. There we go. So Luna, very similar to how Solana was crushed by FTX. Luna has been crushed by what happened with Luna Classic and UST and Do Kwon and everything that went wrong. It absolutely destroyed the ecosystem, it destroyed the community, launching 2 chains, halved the community. You've got Luna Classic, you've got Luna. It's an absolute mess. However, the one thing that I would say is that Luna, as a project is a good one. And it's a good one because it's part of the Cosmos chain. Now, one of the things we talk about on here is you buy a coin in the kill zone, which is here, down here. And very recently, we saw a retest, a breakout, we found support, we've come back up, and then we've slowly come down and we've broken below resistance. Now, 60-cent Luna, what do I think Luna should be valued at this stage of the bull cycle? Well, I'm not going to say it's a $25 project, but I think it should be back at this level. Let me go back to the daily so I can actually show you the chart properly. There we go. So Luna for me should be above this critical line here, which is about 90 cents. So I think Luna realistically should be here at this stage. This is the hitbox. Now, what I hope to see is the price come back above the support band, retest it, and go back into this box by the halving. So if you have a $1.20, a $1.50 Luna by the halving, I would expect this coin to hit potentially $12 to $15. Some people say 9, some people say 25, some people say 20. There's lots of different price targets for it. There are a lot of very wealthy people sitting on the sidelines waiting for Luna. A lot of very rich people. I keep an eye on the Cosmos ecosystem. I keep an eye on Luna in particular because of what happened with Do Kwon. We covered the Do Kwon thing when it was happening. And I think this is one of those coins that's going to absolutely rip and no one's going to see it coming, because the market cap of Luna is not too high, it's not massive, it has plenty of growth. So could I see it at $6? Absolutely. Could I see it at $12? Absolutely. That's a 20x from here in the bull run, not tomorrow. So for me, I've got some Luna, I've bought some Luna, I've staked some Luna, and Luna for me is going to be big. And remember, it's also very Asian centric, and it's a spiritual feeling that a lot of people have about it because it's come out of their community. There's going to be a lot of people behind this when it glows, and they are building some amazing things over there. Like I said, I looked at Prism before, Cosmos, Astroport also on the Cosmos ecosystem. Astroport is an excellent, what would you want to call it? It's like a DeFi platform. The coin itself, Luna, the coin itself, for me, wholly undervalued, should be at least $1.20, and I expect a $12 a Luna in the next bull run, minimum. So one crypto, Kishan, yes, indeed, there is one crypto, and hopefully it's just Crypto Warehouse. Now, very quickly, Bad Pasta, I've been meaning to do this article for about 5 or 6 days, and we've never got to it, so I'm going to cover it very quickly. This is a case of God told me to do it. Utterly ridiculous. A Colorado pastor admits to stealing $1.3 million from followers in a crypto fraud scheme. Well, there you go. Shocking. Eli Regalado says he spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a home remodel that was ordained by God. Okay, this is one of these websites which just loves to make pop-ups appear, go away. Oh my word. Okay. So he convinced his followers to buy millions of dollars worth of a cryptocurrency called INDX coin, allegedly stole $1.3 million of the proceeds, which he spent on a Range Rover, lavish vacations, luxury goods, and a home remodel that he claims was ordained by God. The Colorado Security Division filed civil fraud charges against Eli Regalado and his wife Caitlin, accusing them of selling the illiquid and practically worthless coin to members of the Christian community, leaving them out of millions of dollars. Wow. So they created exchange. They also created a fake exchange called the Kingdom Wealth Exchange, and for a year raised $3.2 million from 300 investors, and a few $100,000 went to home remodel. The Lord told us to do, he said. I mean, you can't just make this stuff up, can you? So what's the moral of this story? Very simple. Under no circumstances should you take investment advice from anybody you work with, anybody you go to college or school with. Bear that in mind. I say this all the time, and I'll say it about myself. You don't watch me and take everything I say as gospel, as the gospel truth. Go and do your own research. Go and find out for yourself. Pick an industry, GameFi, for example. Go and study the top GameFi. Now on here, I'm going to show you a little tip. So on CoinMarketCap, you can, now where is it? If I just type in gaming, does it do it for me? Let's have a look. There we go. Hopefully this will load now and show you. So here we go, perfect. So what CoinMarketCap allows you to do is type a category in here. Gaming, DeFi, AI tokens, whatever it might be. And you can go and see the top tokens in here. Okay, so let's say that your friend gives you a pick, IMDX token, and you go on here and you can't find it. Then don't invest in it. If somebody comes to you in your work and says, listen, there's some really big news coming out about Beam. Beam's going to be a massive project. The founders have just done a deal with PlayStation, right? Go and have a look. Find Beam on the top gaming tokens. Go and type in Beam PlayStation on Google. See if that article exists. If it is, fair enough. Your friend's advice is probably sound. If somebody comes to you and says IMDX, which is listed on Kingdom Exchange, which doesn't exist, and isn't listed on CoinMarketCap, then it's fake. So I'm not saying your friends are lying to you. I'm saying that they have potentially been lied to and convinced of this, and then they have decided to spread the word to you because they've bought into the project and they want you to buy in to make themselves feel better. So just bear all that in mind. If you want to go and invest in tokens that you've never heard of, go and check them out first. You can type any category you want in here. So AI and big data, there's another one. Okay, again, same thing again. Top AI and big data tokens by market cap. ICP, Injective, Render, The Graph, Oasis. Now remember my two picks, these two down here, Singularity and Fetch. Why? Look at the market cap of ICP, of Injective, of Render. Even if Singularity does a 5x, to put it at $1.25, it will still only come up to here. If ICP does a 5x, it will go to a $25 billion project. That puts it way higher than it is now. So look at the potential for growth and look at these tokens. And my advice is very simple. If you want to pick a category like AI, go down each one of these and spend half an hour to an hour making notes. Spend a minute looking at the front page. Do you like what they're doing? Yes. Get a notepad, old-fashioned notepad and a pen, and write down the projects that you like the sound of. That's step one. Step two, you might end up with 4 or 5 tokens that you like the sound of. Go back into each of those projects. Go and look at the white paper. Go and look at the tokenomics. Go and look at the news and their partnerships. Have Theta or the Graph, are they partnered with Google or Microsoft or Apple? Do your own research just means going and finding things that you like. Remember Warren Buffett said, I think it was Warren Buffett said, don't invest in anything that you wouldn't use yourself or you don't understand. I can't remember which way around it was, but one of those two things anyway. Now, it's 11:49. We have been going for 49 minutes. What we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to the quiz. So that means we're going to say goodbye to a few of our followers who are watching on one of our platforms. A big thank you for those of you that have tuned in. We will be back tonight, and we will be back tonight at 7 p.m. with a special show. That special show will be a meme coin giveaway show. We will be picking 5 lucky winners and we will be giving them some tokens. Please bear in mind, this is very important. When we were given the tokens, the value of the tokens was a lot higher than it is now because we were given the tokens almost 2 weeks ago and the price is absolutely smashed. So bear that in mind when we do the giveaway tonight. Now, the question of the day was, is $40,000 going to hold today? And 80% have said yes, and 20% have said no. So 80% of you believe that we're going to hold